The ballroom shimmered with chandeliers, gold drapes, and the scent of expensive champagne. Laughter floated through the air, soft, elegant, rehearsed. Then came the crash. A tray slipped from trembling fingers, glass bursting across marble like a gunshot. Every head turned. At the center of the disaster stood Amelia Brooks, pale, shaking, eyes wide with humiliation. "Unbelievable," a woman muttered. "Wasn't she Sophie's best friend once?" Another whisper followed. "Now she's serving drinks? How pathetic." And then came the voice that cut deepest. The bride herself, Sophie Grant. "Guess some people were never meant to be in our circle." Laughter erupted like thunder. Amelia's throat tightened. She wanted to vanish, but her feet refused to move. 6 months ago, she had been someone. Her father's law firm had been thriving. Her future was bright, scholarships, opportunities, respect. Until her father's business partner vanished with millions, leaving her family destroyed. The house gone, the car gone, her mother's health collapsing. Now, here she was, serving food at the wedding of her oldest friend. The same friend who hadn't answered a single call when everything fell apart. She bent down to pick up the shards. Her fingers bled, but no one cared. The laughter grew louder. And then, "That's enough." The voice didn't shout, it commanded. Deep calm, sure. Everyone turned to see Ethan Cole, the billionaire entrepreneur whose name alone demanded respect. He stood at the far end of the hall, eyes fixed on Amelia. He walked forward through the stunned crowd, stopped in front of her, and said, "No one deserves humiliation for surviving." He helped her to her feet, looked at Sophie, and said coldly, "If this is how you treat your friends, I'll remember that." Sophie stammered, "Mr. Cole, she's not just anything," he interrupted. "She's mine now." Gasps filled the room. He took Amelia's hand and led her out, away from laughter, away from shame. That single moment was the end of her humiliation, and the beginning of something she never expected. Amelia sat in silence as the car glided through the city. She could still feel the sting of those words echoing in her ears. Ethan watched her reflection in the tinted window before speaking. "You handled yourself with dignity tonight." She gave a bitter laugh. "I dropped champagne, bled on marble, and got laughed at by my old friends. And yet you didn't break," he said. "That's dignity." The quiet between them was heavy but not uncomfortable. Finally, she whispered, "Why did you help me?" He leaned back, his tone soft but honest. "Because years ago I was the one everyone laughed at. I know that look in your eyes. I've seen it in the mirror." He told her about his past, how he'd once been a scholarship kid at a rich school, humiliated for wearing second-hand shoes. One kind man had defended him that day, and that moment changed his life. "So tonight," Ethan said, "I just repaid a debt to the world." When the car stopped in front of her apartment, she hesitated at the door. He handed her a card. "Come to my office tomorrow. I'm not offering pity. I'm offering a restart." She hesitated. "And if I fail?" He smiled slightly. "Then fail forward." For the first time in months, she smiled. The next morning, Amelia almost didn't go, but something in her refused to quit. At Ethan's company, she was placed at the Cole Foundation, a program helping women rebuild their lives after financial or emotional collapse. It was supposed to be a small administrative role, but within weeks, she was handling projects, managing outreach, and bringing warmth to a space that once felt cold. Her kindness was contagious. People respected her. Ethan watched from a distance, quietly admiring her resilience. She wasn't the broken girl from the ballroom anymore. She was glowing, rebuilding. One evening, as the staff left, Ethan found her still at her desk, surrounded by folders and coffee cups. "You know," he said gently, "you don't have to fix the whole world in one night." She looked up with a tired smile. "Maybe not, but I can start with one person." Their eyes met, and for a moment, neither looked away. That was how it began. Not fireworks, not grand confessions. Just two wounded souls finding quiet strength in each other's company. The peace didn't last. One morning, Amelia woke up to flashing headlines. Billionaire Ethan Cole's mystery woman revealed. Her face was everywhere. Sophie appeared on an interview show, pretending sympathy but spreading poison. "She's strategic," Sophie said with a smirk. Amelia's always had a way of landing on her feet. The online hate was brutal. Gold digger, opportunist, faker. Amelia broke down. She stopped going to work, stopped answering Ethan's calls. Until one evening, he appeared at her door holding takeout and a quiet smile. He didn't ask questions, he just sat beside her. "You can't hide forever," he said softly. "People don't get to decide your worth." Tears streamed down her face. "They'll never see me as more than the girl from the wedding." "Then show them," he said. "Not through anger, through grace." That week, Amelia returned to work and addressed the press herself. Standing before flashing cameras, she said, "Ethan didn't save me. He reminded me I could stand again. Dignity isn't given by others. It's rebuilt from within." The clip went viral. Millions of women shared it, calling her the voice of resilience. That night, Ethan called her to his penthouse balcony. The city lights reflected in his eyes. "You changed how people see strength," he said. "You changed me." She looked at him, tears glimmering. "And you made me believe I deserved more than survival." He took her hand. "You're mine, not as possession, but as choice." And this time, when she leaned in, she did it not as the girl he saved, but as the woman he respected. 1 year later, the Grand Monarch Hotel was hosting another gala. The same hall, the same chandeliers. But this time, Amelia wasn't holding a tray. She stood on stage as director Amelia Brooks, speaking to an audience of hundreds. "A year ago, I was humiliated here. Today, I stand here not to prove anyone wrong, but to prove what grace can rebuild." Applause filled the room. Ethan stepped onto the stage, holding a velvet box. "Last year, I said you were mine," he said, his voice steady. "Tonight, I'll say it again, but not as protection, as partnership." He knelt before her. "Will you marry me?" Tears streamed down her face. "Yes." The audience erupted. Music swelled. It felt poetic. The same ballroom that once broke her now witnessed her rebirth. 5 years later, Amelia runs her own foundation for women starting over. She and Ethan live quietly, helping others find their dignity again. In her final speech, she says, "He didn't rescue me. He walked beside me while I rescued myself. That's what love, real love, does." Sometimes the world will strip you of everything, not to destroy you, but to show you what you're truly made of. Red Heart, please don't forget to like this video, share it with someone who needs hope, and subscribe for more stories that remind us. Even humiliation can become the first step toward redemption.